F sharp, E, D. That's it. The whole thing. Oh yeah, I was trying to say play it higher. Play it open G on the first note.
We got CC situated, so you know, life is good. Oh, forgot to. Oh yeah, here we are. We're feeling groovy this morning. Thank you so much for joining us here at Jubilee Circle. Lots of folks in the building this morning, and thank you for joining us out there virtually. We are appreciative of everyone who is here with us today. It's so nice to look out on the floor here and actually see people.
17 people.
Yes.
Our record.
And you are our post-COVID record here. We got 17 people in the room, and if you would like to be one of those next week, or if you're nearby, come on down. Here we are. So please join us here. We are distanced and all of that. If you have been vaccinated, there is no need for a mask. So please just come on in, and kind of feeling like old times, except kind of in, you know, a strange configuration. But anyway, so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are continuing our Via Transformativa theme of the Great Light as we explore the truth about ourselves, who we really are. We are created of and in light, and we are always surrounded by the great light of the holy that invites us to live into our true divine nature. Now, when we think of wise people, who comes to mind? Gandhi, there's one. Who comes to wise?
Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Huh? The Dalai Lama. Martin Luther King. Desmond Tutu. Einstein.
King Solomon.
Well, there you go. Mother Teresa. There's not many women. Are there any more women? Come on.
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Hildegard von Bingen. Yeah, Hildegard. Julian. All right. Joan of Arc. All right. We may even personally know a few wise folks that we go to whenever we need advice or counsel.
Like you.
Okay. But what makes these people different, whether they're famous or not, is that they all have or had a certain presence about them. Without speaking a word, they instilled confidence and trust. But when they do speak, their words are profound, and sometimes their words even change our lives. That presence that they possess, it doesn't come from worldly power. It doesn't come from any sort of fame. Instead, it's an otherworldly sort of thing, a spirit that animates them and emanates from them. And when we meet them, even if we encounter them only in their writings or their words or their deeds, we're never quite the same afterwards. They possess this special kind of presence in the world because they know who they are. They have come into their higher divine self. They no longer live in this egoic world of grasping and craving, but instead they found their true home within that holy wisdom. But the good news is that's the holy wisdom that resides within every single one of us. The difference is most of we mere mortals just spend our lives wandering around in the world of the ego. We live through our small and our needy and greedy selves, seeking more of whatever it is out here that we think is going to make us happy. But those who have made their home in wisdom, they're only concerned with doing and saying and acting what's best not just for them, but for all of us. These are people who understand that because there's only one of us here, that the only life worth living is one that is centered in love and compassion and lived from that deep, true, divine place within. This is the heart of wisdom, jubilants, knowing that however we want this world to be, we first have to manifest it within and come home to that holy wisdom that will make the whole world say, oh yeah. Sorry, that monitor level was very high. Please rise as you're able. And we begin our celebration as we do with every celebration. We remember the four elements, the fire and the earth and the water and the air. And we burn sage as a reminder that this is a safe and a sacred time. And we call the four directions to orient ourselves in this sacred time and space.
Let us turn and face the east. Holy One, give us the wisdom we need to approach each new day with love, gentleness, and excitement. Give us the wisdom of a beginner's mind so we can live without judgment or expectations. Help us to allow ourselves to be surprised by the grace and beauty of each new dawn and wise enough to be present to each moment of our lives. Quarter turn to the right and we face the south. Guide us, Holy One, as we seek the path of wisdom. Help us to remember those words of wisdom spoken to us by our mothers, our fathers, our friends, and even the wise words of those we may perceive as our enemies. Open our ears so we may recognize the true wisdom in the words we hear, and to take the time we need to hear the divine wisdom you speak to us daily. Quarter turn to the right and we face the west. Show us the wisdom of letting go, Holy One. Just as each day must end, so too must things in our own lives. Give us the wisdom we need to let go of old ideas, old things, or old relationships that are keeping us from growing in your wisdom. Give us peace as we move on to new ideas, things, and relationships. Quarter turn to the right and we face the north. Free us, Holy One, from the small wisdom, our ego, the wisdom that says if we don't have more, do more, or make more than someone else, that we are not wise. Instead, give us the wisdom to say to this war-torn world, I come in peace. Give us the strength to resist worldly wisdom and instead embrace holy wisdom that grows peace, mercy, and kindness, not just in our own hearts, but in the world around us. Turn back toward the center. The Quakers knew long ago that we all possess a piece of that divine light within us, and when we come together in community, we are wiser because we can combine our light and illuminate the spiritual path, not just for ourselves, but everyone around us. We are wise on our own, jubilants, but here, in this community, we become a brilliant light, a beacon for other seekers. Let your light shine, jubilants. Let us become wise together, so others will see us and say, oh yeah.
Yeah. You may be seated, or actually stand up. Jubirobics, up and down, up and down. We're gonna sing a Beatles song this morning. Get us started. There are some bulletins available, and if you are out there and would like a bulletin, you can go to jubileecircle.com. There is a PDF bulletin to be downloaded, or you can look at it on your device here in the building. However you choose to access that, it is available for you at jubileecircle.com. All right. You ready? Here we go. 2, 3, 4. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they may see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, oh let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, oh let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, oh let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, oh let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Oh yeah, all right. Everybody may be seated. Welcome again to Jubilee Circle. We're so happy to have you here this morning. We do actually have coffee this morning, so see what you're missing? They're sitting with no pants on. Yeah, could be having good Jubilee coffee right now. Oh well, maybe next week. Come and join us. With no yeah, put your pants on and come and join us next week. Or a dress or whatever you feel like. It'll be good. Right. Yes, that's right. And yes, and you get personal service. I actually brought Deb her coffee, so personalized service here at Jubilee Circle. And just a little bit about us. We are an inclusive, progressive interfaith community located right here in Columbia, South Carolina, and we welcome you from wherever you are watching. We teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that is found in all of mainstream religions, metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and the teachings of inspired secular and religious leaders. And we seek here at Jubilee Circle to create a space for everyone to transform spiritually, to find life's deeper meaning, to love wastefully, to engage the world peacefully, and do justice, all in an effort to discover how we can live into our higher divine self. And we also recognize we are part of God's good creation. We are formed in love and in joy, but we humans, we come out of the birth canal and we hit our heads or they slap us and we forget all that. We don't know. We get lost in this world of paradox. We encounter others as both beautiful and ugly, or good and bad, or generous and stingy, or loving and
Recalcitrant.
recalcitrant. Why can I never remember that word? But let us remember our true function here, Jubilants. It is to continually return home to that love that we have never left, while we embody and become this open channel for that love in this world, the love that created us. We are the light of the world, and that should make you say, oh yeah. All right, so a few announcements. Coming up next week, we'll continue our Via Transformativa theme. Summer is getting closer. The Via Positiva is getting closer. And after all that summer weather, now it's like, I had to pull the sweater out this morning. So yeah, it feels like the mountains. It does. The mountains. But next week, we'll use some music from Alanis Morissette, and we'll talk about how the right teachers can help us see more light and become more of the light that we are. Tuesday, June 1st, we will have our book club, where we'll continue our reading of Martha Beck's new book called The Way of Integrity. You can either join us here at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday night or by Zoom. We are going to be doing chapter 4 this week. I don't know if I got that right in the bulletin, but chapter 4. And then Friday, June 4th, our first Friday open mic returns. Woo! Yay! Our first post-COVID, I guess it's not really post-COVID, but it's, post-immunizations.
Post-ish.
Post-vaccines show. And we're going to feature the Water Kickers. That's Kelly and Brody Porterfield, and they're going to open up for us at 7 o'clock, and the open mic begins at 8. So join us. Bring your poetry, your performances, your songs. It is on June 4th, the first Friday. Yeah, that's next Friday. That is Friday coming up. So that's going to be fun, and we will provide some light refreshments and adult beverages, and for a donation, all of this can be yours. So for a small donation. And one thing I did want to say that I have been remiss saying for the past couple of weeks is that if you have noticed on the live streams that we look so much better, and they've got these little chyrons and slides, and we look like we're professional and we know what we're doing, it's because Jim Mounts is over there behind both of these cameras, and we are so appreciative of Jim for being here and tearing his hair out, what's left of it, and he's got his hippie hair on now. He's
looking good.
He's looking good over there. That's right. He's a love child. He's got his tie-dye bandana on. We're all in love with Jim right now. See, if you were here, you could see Jim. I'm just saying. All right.
We could turn our camera around. Just saying.
No, that's all right. Jim's got them all set up. It's a delicate operation over there. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate you making us look good. And while we're at it, the band has been a big trooper throughout this whole year and a half or so, showing up every week, and we kept each other healthy and happy throughout the COVID era. So just to give them a big hand, yes, the band has done great, and we're sounding so much better than ever. So this is Janice Mewborn over here on the banjo and the vocals. We got Bruce Clark back here in the back. Stand up, Bruce, and yeah, Bruce's lead guitar is making us sound like a real band up here. It's great. We got Miss Resident Vegan and Grandpa back here, Keith Edwards Sr. Oldest bass player in South Carolina. All right. Beth Dehart on the drums, Tricia Fopp here on the guitar, 12-string, and vocals, and Michael Sprinkles Reisman, last but not least, our multi-instrumentalist and rabbi. Shalom. Hear these wise and holy words from this wise and holy woman.
Keep saying that.
Well, one day it'll come true.
From the Hebrew Scriptures, Proverbs 8:22 through 23, 27 through 31. The Lord created me, wisdom, at the beginning of his work, the first of his acts of long ago. Ages ago, I was set up at the first, before the beginning of the earth. When he established the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep, when he made firm the skies above, when he established the foundations of the deep, when he assigned to the sea its limit, so that the waters might not transgress his command, when he marked out the foundations of the earth, then I was beside him like a master worker, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing before him always, rejoicing in his inhabited world and delighting in the human race. From the Jesus Story, John 16:12 through 15. I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth. For he will not speak on his own, but will speak whatever he hears, and he will declare to you the things that are to come. He will glorify me, because he will take what is mine and declare it to you. All that the Father has is mine. For this reason, I said that he will take what is mine and declare it to you. From A Course in Miracles, chapter 14. Say to the Holy Spirit only, decide for me, and it is done. For his decisions are reflections of what God knows about you, and in this light, error of any kind becomes impossible. Why would you struggle so frantically to anticipate all you cannot know, when all knowledge lies behind every decision the Holy Spirit makes for you? Learn of his wisdom and his love, and teach his answer to everyone who struggles in the dark. For you decide for them and for yourself. You taught yourself the most unnatural habit of not communicating with your Creator. Yet you remain in close communication with him and with everything that is within him, as it is within yourself. Unlearn isolation through his loving guidance, and learn of all the happy communication that you have thrown away but could not lose.
These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Let's stand and sing. 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a minute. 2, 3, 4. Don't you know we're all light? Yeah, I read that someplace. Don't you know we're all light? Yeah, it's a bumper sticker someplace. So you won't mind if I kiss you now. We may hear the angels recite. Don't you know? Don't you know in this new dark age we're all light? We're all light. Oh yeah, you may be seated. All right, that's the peppiest tune you're going to get today. It's a mellow Sunday here at Jubilee Circle. Right. Our song this morning, if we played this song the whole way through, yeah, you might all just fall asleep. But there's a sermon for that, so you can fall asleep because of the sermon, not the song. This is a song by John Gorka, who is a folk singer and songwriter, and this song is called Wisdom. It comes from his 1998 release called After Yesterday. Oh. Excuse me, we have to move the dog first. Cece, our mascot, is always up here sleeping behind the drums, and so yeah, she's our drumming dog. And when Beth needs to move around and do other things, Cece is always in her spot. So thank you, Cece. We love you, baby. Ooh, I think I just got the stink eye. Okay.
I was sound asleep.
That's right, I was asleep. Yes, he said. All right, We ready now? 2, 3, 4. Wisdom exists, it's not commonly found. It's got the lonesomest howl of any dog in the pound. Wisdom persists, wisdom swings free. What once worked for you will not work for me. Wisdom will stick, it's a permanent bond. It tends to resist all the scum in the pond. Wisdom will stay, wisdom hangs on. It's not like the news, which is already gone. If you want to find some true wisdom, perhaps the best place to start might be to ask your nearest child, because they have some pretty interesting and profound wisdom. Here are some pearls of wisdom from the younger set. Never trust a dog to watch your food. Is that right, Cece?
Oh, yes.
Like, I plead the fifth. When your dad is mad and asks you, "Do I look stupid?" do not answer him. Never tell your mom her diet is not working. Never hold a dustbuster and a cat at the same time. You cannot hide a piece of broccoli in a glass of milk. This is my favorite. I think this is perfect. If you want a kitten, start out by asking for a pony. That is brilliant. Felt markers are not good to use as lipstick. Don't pick on your sister when she's holding a baseball bat. That's one my brother learned. Long time ago. Never try to baptize a cat. All of these nuggets are wisdom that are fairly practical, and obviously they are all based on experience. That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. I might just know that it might be a bad idea to try to baptize a cat, but when I am bloody and cussing, I become truly wise. And that's the crux of wisdom. It is a light that allows you to see the whole picture, not just in theory, but in fact, and experience the reality of something in this world. Buddhist monk and author Jack Kornfield writes, "Wisdom grows out of our clear seeing in each moment." So we may think that baptizing a cat would be cool and exciting, but when we are in the moment, our vision sharpens. We become wise to the fact that we have just made a very foolish and unwise decision. Wisdom means learning from that experience and not repeating it. Wisdom will stick, John Gorka says. It will hang on. While these wise sayings may have come from the lips of children, wisdom itself is really quite very old. If you believe the Hebrew scriptures, wisdom was there before this little blue boat that we ride around the universe upon was created. When God established the heavens, says wisdom in this ancient passage, I was there, she says. When she drew a circle on the face of the deep, when God made firm the skies above, when it established the fountains of the deep, when God assigned to the sea its limit so that the waters might not transgress God's command, when God marked out the foundations of the earth, I was beside him, wisdom says, like a master worker. Wisdom says she, and yes, wisdom is a she. She is known by her Greek name, Sophia. She says she is and always will be God's delight, Sha'ashuim, Shashuim, that is the Hebrew word for delight or God's pleasure. And I think we take such delight in the wisdom of children because spiritually they are a lot closer to their higher divine selves than we adults tend to be. Because kids have not yet experienced that disillusionment of the ego, that rite of passage that shrinks our vision of this world from seeing the whole and how it all fits together to looking through our ego's myopic eyes of only seeing itself and how it can manipulate the world around it. Kids, they still have that sense, they still have that connection to that ancient wisdom that is God's delight. And that's the key to wisdom jubilance. Far from bringing woe and darkness into the world, it brings delight. Wisdom, especially that divine type that we all have inside, that we can tap from within and bring out into the world, it can serve as that ultimate source of transformation and liberation and celebration, not just for us individually, but for the whole world. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. Wisdom resides between salt and sky. I'm too mean to quit, but too dumb to try. It might come soon and it sure comes slow. It's not all the facts, just what you need to know. Wisdom says so. Wisdom will fit, it won't use much space. Against all odds, with no chemical trace. Wisdom hangs on, it knew your face when you were young. Wisdom arrives like a crude afterthought. Its modern value played down because it cannot be bought. Wisdom will stick, adhere to your leg. It comes after the chicken. It's shaped like an egg. For as much as we might take delight in the wisdom of children, we ego-plagued humans are often so deaf to the call of wisdom that resides between the salt and the sky, as Gorka describes it. When we're wrapped up in those egoic thought systems, wisdom, it's a crude afterthought. It's something we don't value very much because our ego tells us that unless it can enrich us in some monetary way, well, what's wisdom worth anyway, right? And that's why wisdom, Gorka says, has the lonesomest howl of any dog in the pound. I mean, who wants the mutt of wisdom when we can have the purebred of the ego that we can parade around with us and show off our worldly wealth and our recognition and our power and our fame? Jesus understood. He understood this attitude that we ego-trapped humans have. In today's gospel passage, he tells the disciples flat out, I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. I still got a lot to tell you, but you are not in the place where you are going to hear any of it. That's what he's saying. The word for bear, bastazo in Greek. And it means to carry something. It does mean to bear something literally. But this wisdom, this truth that Jesus wants to convey, it is still literally too heavy for us to bear in our bodily-based egoic form. So he says he's going to have to do this differently. I'm going to have to get to you a different way. I can't just tell you that you're divine, that you're the light of the world. You can't bear that. The higher self understands it, but the bodies are too frail because we're built bodily on that shifting sand of our ego identity. However, the good news, we can get ourselves in a state to receive this wisdom, and it doesn't mean that we have to abandon our bodies. Instead, as Episcopal priest and author Cynthia Bourgeault writes in her book, The Wisdom Way of Knowing, we can strengthen and prepare our bodies to not just bear this wisdom, but to embody it in the world around us. To touch that holy wisdom within, she writes, we must have three centers that are working together. We must have the intelligence of our mind, the intelligence of our moving center, which is the body, and the intelligence of our emotional center. The mind, that's our center of knowledge, our information gathering point. But relying on mind-centered knowledge alone, she writes, is like trying to play a violin with a saw. Michael can tell you, that's the wrong tool for the job. It really is. Playing a saw is a whole different skill. Saws and violins, they don't go well. So, she also says we need a moving center. She says that consists of our instincts, which attune us to the inner workings of our body, and our proper center, which helps us navigate the physical world around us. The best use for our bodies in our quest to touch that divine wisdom, she advises, is to use it for holy gestures and service to the world. Holy gestures, that just means anything that brings you into your body. Meditation, prayer, chanting, communing with nature, sacred movement like yoga or dancing. The language of spiritual transformation, she writes, is already written deeply within our bodies. When we get the hang of the gesture, we discover the spiritual truth it illumines, she says. Finally, we must use our emotional center, our heart, not for personal expression, Bourgeois warns, but for divine perception. This emotional center, it's our bridge between spirit and body, where we begin to use our thoughts and our feelings to go inside, to dwell within our higher divine self, instead of allowing our emotions to form opinions and preferences out here in the world and post about it on Facebook. When we balance all three, our mind, our bodily instincts, our emotions, that's when we become fully present in this moment. And the presence in the moment, being here now, is the only way that we can bear the wisdom that Jesus says the Holy Spirit will bring to us. We have to be fully attuned to the holy in our body, in our mind, and in our heart, so we can become aware of the innate aliveness of this world that flows in, through, and around us in every place and time. Enlightenment, Bourgeois notes, is not a permanent state of being blissed out, because that's what we think about. Oh, I'm enlightened. I'm just going to flit. I'm going to be 3 feet off the ground, and everybody, I'm so light. I'm just going to flit around. I'm happy all the time. No. That's not what it is. No. Enlightenment, she says, and this is so important. Enlightenment is a settled mind. You know how you take up, you got some water with some dirt in it, and you shake it up. It's all cloudy. That's the ego. You're all cloudy. Enlightenment is when it all settles. And it doesn't matter what else happens. That's a settled mind. A mind that can wisely take delight in the world in every moment, no matter what the circumstances are, as they unfold around us. In this moment, this present moment, wisdom is no longer a crude afterthought, but it's something that hangs on and offers us rest and peace, even when the world around us seems to be in utter chaos. And when we are able to align these three centers, our heart and our mind and our body, Bourgeois writes, you no longer see wisdom, you are wisdom. Because, she says, you become a channel of God's peace. Breathe deep. 2, 3. Wisdom is free, but it doesn't come cheap. It's found in your dreams, not on the night you don't sleep. Wisdom persists. It has an elegant glow. It mostly consists of what you know you don't know. Wisdom says so. Well, that's all well and good, Pastor, you might be thinking right now, but baptizing a cat sounds so much easier than herding those cats of mind, body, and heart into one unified whole. And you're absolutely right. what's being asked of us to bear this holy wisdom is not easy. And it's mainly because the ego gets involved, and it argues with us about the value of such an undertaking. It's not going to make us richer or thinner or better looking. It's not going to give us more money or power or prestige. What's the point of this whole wisdom thing, of coming into alignment with this wisdom thing? We may as well get busy baptizing some cats for as much good as that's going to do us, the ego says. And that is our learned behavior. That is our pattern, according to A Course in Miracles, to shut down our body's ability to communicate with the holy. A Course in Miracles tells us the entire reason for this body is to serve as a communication channel with the holy. This is how we receive the wisdom. And when we are prepared to bear it, it moves from our minds and into our hearts. But our reading today says, you taught yourself the most unnatural habit of not communicating with your Creator. When we follow the ego mind and its arguments against seeking holy wisdom that's available in every present moment, we shut God out. This is an unnatural habit that we have. And we affirm, we say, yeah, Jesus, you're right. I can't bear the weight of that holy wisdom, much less express it in the world. But when we seek to align mind, body, and heart to see, hear, receive, and embody that holy wisdom that is in every moment, the Course assures us that we will unlearn isolation through God's divine guidance. And this is the wisdom we're asked to bear, jubilants. This is the wisdom that is too heavy for us on most days. And it is simply this: there is no separation. There is none. We are all connected. We may look like we're all disparate bodies having different experiences, but we're all one in God. We must unlearn our isolation. And the ego fights. Oh, it wants to show us. It shows us. It's got all the proof in the world out there to show you that you are separate from others. And that is why the Course is clear when it says, beware of self-directed plans. Because, boy, when our ego gets revved up and we allow it in the driver's seat to pursue its desire in the world, woo, it's guaranteed that we are going to crash and burn in some pretty spectacular ways. But wisdom, however, it invites us to breathe deeply. And just tune in. Tune into that still, small voice that is always within us and can always be found in this present moment. And that's a voice that doesn't speak to our basest desires, but instead that is the voice of our highest aspirations for how we want to live and move and have our being in this world. So what does that mean in practical terms? Hey, preacher, that sounds beautiful. How do you do it? Slow down. Stop hurling yourself through every minute of time and space. Center yourselves in your body. Center yourselves in your mind and your heart. In every moment of the day, practices, do those holy gestures. Prayer, meditation, yoga, deep breathing, walking in nature, anything that brings you back to the center. And that center is only in the present. Our goal with any practice, according to Bourgeot, is to teach the mind to stay put in the present rather than wandering off into dreams and fantasies. I'm doing an online meditation weekend, and I spent most of yesterday in meditation, and there was a meditation, I found the first one terribly difficult. He was talking about staying in the present moment. And on the second one, the only way I could be present was to make a mantra. Now, 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 now. And when a thought would come, that's the past, now. Another thought, that's the future, now, now. And even if you walk around, you can be in a meditative state all the time, walking around going, now, now. Because as soon as you end the word, you're in the next now. It's always now. So being present allows us to see more deeply into the situations that we encounter every day, instead of reacting from ego that resists and wants it all out here to be different. When we're grounded in wisdom of the present moment, we can enter more deeply into what is. We don't fight with it anymore. That's how you create suffering. You fight with what is. When we can surrender the ego's cravings and say to the Holy Spirit, decide for me, and learn to let go. We're trying to overcome, trying to fix things. When we can do that, both Jesus and the Course assures us that Spirit will guide us to the truth of any situation, and Spirit will give us the words, the deeds, the thoughts that we need to be a wise, healing presence for ourselves and everyone involved. Decide for me. Just show me what to do, who to talk to, what to say, where to be. To the ego, though, the Spirit's wisdom seems sort of insane and completely unbearable. But that wisdom allows us to see past the ego's concerns and into the innocence of everyone in this world, even those we may find infuriating. It doesn't mean we don't act in the world. Instead, it means that we're no longer acting from our reactivity, but we are acting in a deliberate fashion from our wisdom. And we can do this because we've allowed wisdom to give us the miracle of a changed perspective, the ability to see the big picture and really understand what's going on here. When we can see through the ego and its tricks, we can more readily perceive that the egoic tricks of others. We begin to see past the actions of others that might infuriate us or make us sad, and instead we see that's all just a trick of the ego. It's a trick of their ego. And we can look deeper and see the true innocence in everyone. And once we can see that everyone is truly innocent, everyone is truly wise, everyone is truly beloved, who knows? We may actually be able to perform real miracles and safely baptize a few cats along the way. Oh, yeah. 2, 3, 4. Wisdom hangs on, saves wear on your lip. It won't go to waste. It shoots from the hip. Wisdom will cry. It will follow a storm. Keep your ice cream cone hard and your coffee warm. After the storm, wisdom exists. It's not commonly found. It's got the lonesomest howl of any dog in the pound. Wisdom resides between salt and sky. I'm too mean to quit or too dumb to try. Wisdom and I. Oh, yeah. Michael Reisman on violin. Thank you. All right, I invite you during this prayer time, if you have a bowl, pots and pans out there, whatever you want to use, bring it and sing it. I invite you in this time of meditation to think about what energy it is that you are aligning yourself with. Because the ego has a lot of energy. It really does. I mean, it likes to move us, get us out there, get us all in a frenzy. But I invite you to follow the energy that moves the clouds, the energy that grows the grass, the energy that takes a sapling and makes it a forest. That's the energy that we all are. Think about that energy within. As you sit here, cells are growing, cells are dying. Your hair is growing for some of us. Toenails, your fingernails. There's a baby growing over here. That's the force that we are. There's a beautiful woman growing a baby right there. This place is amazing. That's your energy. Tune out from all the busyness. The little, what are we having for lunch? Is she done talking yet? Shut up. Ring the bell. Hello, ego. It's so good to see you. Have a seat. Shut up. Let's get with the real energy. Now. 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 back home to the peace where you belong. The way, we know the way, we've got the way, we'll share the way to bring you back home to the peace where you belong. So many lost highways that used to lead home, but now they seem used up and gone. They sure had the magic when they were first found, but not this road. This road has never closed. It's still brand new. The way, we know the way, we've seen the way, we'll show the way to bring you back home to the peace where you belong. If you're lost and think you can't be found, we know the way, we've got the way, we'll lead the way to get you back home to the peace where you belong. Where you belong, where you belong, where you belong. We know the way to get you back home to the peace where you belong. Oh, yeah. All right, we are about to go to our Zoom fellowship. We gather on Zoom after the celebration for some conversation, to reflect on the message, to reflect on what we've learned, and to see each other's faces that we haven't seen in a while. And y'all in the building are welcome to take part in that as well. If you do not want to take part in the Zoom, that is just fine, and you may certainly go at your leisure. So thank you for being here. And so this is the part where I tell you that we need your support, and we do. Because what Jubilee Circle is trying to accomplish in this world is our little tagline that I finally put on the bulletins this week, transforming people to transform the world. And that is what we do here at Jubilee Circle. And we do that through education. We do that through our teachings here on a Sunday morning. And as we are progressing in this new year, in 2021 and beyond, we are going to be looking at putting more workshops together. The Children's Theater is going to be using our building in July. They're going to be staging one of their productions here, and there will be an adult night of one of their productions here. So you come and enjoy that. But we are glad that artists are here and using our space. The open mic will be on Friday. There will be music back in here, and music is something that transforms the spirit, that lifts us up. Music is a spiritual practice, and it always has been. And so we lift up the arts here at Jubilee Circle. We lift up education and learning more about other traditions, learning more about other ways of, other tools to access our spirituality and to make our transformation complete so we become spiritually transformed. So as spiritually transformed people, we go out and transform the world. And that is our mission here at Jubilee Circle. And if that is something that speaks to you, then I ask you that you support us with your time, your talent, and yeah, with your money. And I'm so grateful to everyone who is supporting us with their time and their talent and their money. And we have some fabulous board members. We have Jim out here, and Tamara is a board member and Lee, board members that are they're involved and they're here. And that is what this community needs, is your involvement in some way. So if you have talents and skills that you want to help us, that would be great too. So you can go to our website at jubileecircle.com. There's a donate button there for the monetary donations. We do have a Venmo at Jubilee Circle. So you can find us on that platform as well. And of course, you can send an old-fashioned check, because those things are still valid. For those who just like to send a check, Post Office Box 4611, Columbia 29204, and that will get to us. All right, so we will adjourn to our Zoom here in just a few minutes. Bruce, all right, I like that. Do that again. Oh, yeah. I like it. I would like to remind you, though, as you go through this week, prayer is one of those holy gestures. And it doesn't have to be hard. Prayer's not really a hard thing. You don't have to hit your knees and go, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Meister Eckhart says all you need to do is get that gratitude all in your heart. You feel it in your body. You feel it in your bones. And you just say, Spirit, Holy One, Universe, Flying Spaghetti Monster, thank you. Because if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, Meister Eckhart says, that will be enough. And so together we say, thank you. And we say, oh yeah. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together with hearts and arms open wide. We make our way by walking in love, we will abide. Path is always open and our travel is denied. So open up your heart and let those tears you cry. Because we all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together, hand in hand, and side by side. Oh, yeah. All right, thank you all for joining us. Let's meet over at the Zoom.